4 men and 1 woman are on their way to go camping. As Adam and Jack chat about the trip, a strange flock of crows appears. Adam accidentally drives the car into a ditch, causing an accident. Fortunately, everyone in the car is unharmed. However, something odd happens. When they regain their senses, Jack, who was in the passenger seat, is nowhere to be found. They search the area, but find nothing but cornfields around them. The car won't start, and when Jack tries to call for help, he realizes there's no signal in this area. Just then, he notices a path leading into the cornfield and suggests that it might have gone that way. Jack gone to a nearby gas station for help, but doubts it, saying there's no gas station nearby and he wouldn't have just left without a word. Adam, still upset about the car, sits off to the side while Shell try to comfort him, pointing out that at least everyone's safe. Find a scarecrow tied to a post. Jack asks to help him climb up the post to get a better view of their surroundings. Meanwhile, they finally reach the cabin. Seeing lights on the second floor, they hope someone is inside and knock for help. After knocking for a while with no answer, they notice the door is unlocked and cautiously step inside the house. The house's interior layout feels quite old, with dust everywhere, making it look completely uninhabited. Now, the two of them can only pin their hopes on the second floor, as it's the only place with lights on. Maybe they'll find the owner there. Quickly, the two arrive on the second floor, but when they open the door, they find that the person sitting inside is actually their missing friend, Jack. It's strange that he is now covered in wounds. Find her boyfriend, but realizes someone seems to be stalking her. Hearing Shell's screams, rushes out, but then cries. Adam, who catches up, locates her direction based on the sound and follows her voice. They're left wondering what's moving around in the cornfield, yet despite searching, they find no trace of her. As night falls, they finally spot Shell, but horrifyingly she's hanging from a post, appearing to have bled out. As soon as she touches the rope, it tightens suddenly. In a panic, he dashes to the back, while Adam sees not only that Shell is dead, but her eyes have also changed color, causing him to flee in terror. Feeling overwhelmed and not understanding how things turned out this way. As soon as he stepped out, he saw a figure in the cornfield. It was the older brother from his vision, beckoning to him. Mesmerized, his friend quickly followed, Crow's head saving him. Sean hurriedly brought him back to the cabin. Luckily, they ran quickly. When Sean reached the kitchen, he quickly joined him, insisting his own. He headed to the car that Sean had mentioned and tried an old trick, using wires to start the engine. Meanwhile, they found a boy's corpse in the kitchen. Sean was relieved to find a shotgun next to it, but while they discussed who the corpse might be, Ward managed to start the car outside. Realizing something was wrong, Sean ran to the warehouse behind with the weapon to provide cover. Meanwhile, he waited at the door and suddenly saw the boy again. Desperate to uncover the mystery, interrupted by his father, who suspected him of wrongdoing and reprimanded him. The boy stormed out with the hood in hand. Later, he took his deceased brother to the cornfield, dressed him in the hood, and mounted him on a wooden post as a scarecrow. About Sean's whereabouts, but Ward replied that he only heard screams and feared the worst. Back inside the cabin, he pieced together the clues and explained to Ward that as long as they didn't step into the cornfield, the scarecrows would remain dormant. He speculated that the boy's spirit could only control one scarecrow at a time, and they might have a chance to escape if they created a hood upstairs. Sean, who had died, returned and rushed upstairs. Seeing Sean's actions, he believed it was their best chance to escape. To increase their chances, he prepared him. However, the evil spirit possessing Sean sensed their plan, and Sean started frantically sewing on the machine. When they tried to escape, the lights upstairs went out. With no other choice, they decided to split up, as the scarecrow could only chase one of them at a time. Meanwhile, he poured gasoline throughout the cornfield, planning to burn it all down to end the nightmare. But just as he was about to ignite it, a scarecrow knocked him unconscious and dragged him to a wooden post. Seeing the almost dying Adam, hung upside down on a wooden stake by the scarecrow, not only that, but the scarecrow was also brutally torturing him. At this moment, he suddenly remembered that the boy in the illusion was stabbed to death with a fork. The scarecrow in their car overturned in the ditch, decided to check it out. However, after searching around, the driver found no one nearby. Seeing this, wanted to call for help, but he was so weak that no sound came out. Soon, someone else arrived at the cornfield, and the Scarecrow, as usual, lay on the ground, intending to attract a potential sequel. Personally, I feel that the Scarecrows in this cornfield have not yet finished. The endless killings may continue indefinitely. Finally, let's briefly talk about this movie. While watching it, some scenes truly surprised me because the details of the filmmaking were excellent, the exposure had a beautiful aesthetic, the shots were focused, and the pacing was very well controlled. The story followed a straight line, and there were almost no dull moments throughout. That's all for today. If you have any thoughts on this movie, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Well, that's the end of today's story, and I'll see you next time.